Episode 22, Dodging Distractions, the hocus pocus of maintaining focus.
Hi, I'm Jade.
And I'm Ellie,
And this is Really Fucking Trying.
a podcast where we talk about the ins and outs and ups and downs of running a small business and being creative.
Today, we're talking about distractions, whether it's doom scrolling, the sudden urge to reorganise your workspace, or the mysterious compulsion to start a brand new project instead of finishing the one that's due tomorrow.
So we quite often post on our Instagram, don't we, about like things that we want people to advise, topics as well, things that they'd like us to discuss. And one that's been quite a common theme right from when we started was a lot of people have commented saying running a small business as a neurodivergent person.
Yeah.
Now, we've had quite a lot of discussions about it, haven't we, you and me? But you and me aren't diagnosed as being not on paper anyway.
No, we're pretty sure there's something going on.
There's something. I mean, either that or this is just the way we are.
Maybe.
I don't know. But like, we don't want to sit here and talk about that, the two of us, because no, you know what I mean? Like, I know for having arthritis,
doesn't feel fair, does it?
I have arthritis. If somebody was sat there doing a podcast talking about arthritis having not had it, I'd be a bit like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
But we have got a separate idea for a neurodivergent episode. But in terms of actually focusing as a small business owner when it's just you, and there's nobody there to tell you off when you go off on a tangent or you get completely distracted by another task, it's something I really struggle with, possibly the most in my business. Yeah. So like I say, we have got a separate plan for a neurodivergent episode, but it's a huge hurdle that I think a lot of small businesses face. I know I do, and I know that lots of other people do as well, whether they're ADHD or not. Yeah. And today we just want to really focus on that and just talk about it as well. And again, you know, this is just to show people that they're not alone, and hopefully, you know, it'll be a bit of a fun one as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I went off on 10 tangents.
You did, we're also joined today by Amy from Cornucopia Creatives. Amy, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, talk about your business?
Yeah, hi, I'm Amy. I'm 30. I live in Kendal in the Lake District with my husband and 2 kids. I've run Cornucopia Creative Studio since 2017, but as of this year, it's my full-time job. But I always caveat that by saying as full-time as you can be with 2 kids, because it's not really full-time. So I make pretty things from air drying clay, and I sell them for retail customers on my website and at markets and Etsy and all that, and also for wholesale customers as well.
Oh, fab. How long have you been doing it?
Since 2017, she said.
Yeah, but have you always been like creative?
Yeah, so I did an art degree, which I graduated from in 2016. That was contemporary fine art, but I think it just taught me, it was an expensive way of figuring out that I don't really belong in the fine art world. It's a bit pretentious for me, but I still needed something like a bit creative. So it started, I was working full time in a gift shop. I loved it. And it started as like a bit of a side hustle, probably because, although I didn't know it at the time, that I had ADHD, and I kind of needed something to do when I wasn't working, like in evenings and stuff. This was before I had kids. I've got plenty to do now. But yeah, I kind of just needed something to do to keep me busy. And I've kept it going throughout, you know, full-time jobs and having 2 kids. And now it's, since January this year, I decided not to go back to my kind of proper job after maternity leave and just do this.
Oh, fab. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh, well done.
I love that. And I love that you're something a bit different as well. We haven't really had somebody that sort of does the kind of work that you do as well. But I think the reason that we wanted you as well, we always sort of lean towards guests that put a little bit more in their application as well and really let us sort of get a glimpse into them.
Yeah, it's much easier to match them up with an episode,
It is, because you can sort of get an idea of the personality, because it is about personality and not just the business when we pair people up. And I don't want you to think that just because you've got ADHD, we thought she'll be perfect for this episode. But it's personality wise. I remember reading your application. I thought, I like this girl. She sounds like a bit of me.
I mean, I don't know, part of that probably is the ADHD just like coming through, because I can't just like write a succinct sentence. I'm just like, like.
Yeah.
Same. That's why I need ChatGPT for my punctuation, because otherwise it doesn't exist. So this episode, as you probably sussed already, Amy, it was very much my idea. And it is honestly something I really, really struggle with me in terms terms of day-to-day running of the business.
Yeah.
Maybe not ultimately in the grand scheme of things, like setting up the business was difficult, you know, keeping the momentum going was difficult. But in terms of the actual day-to-day running of the business, if I left the studio on a single day and you said what was the most difficult thing today, I would say not getting distracted.
Yeah.
And it always is that. And we want to keep this episode really light-hearted as possible, basically. But if you did have to ask me the hardest parts of being a small business owner, I really do think this would be top 3.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I obviously, like we said, we're both undiagnosed. I don't think I have ADHD. I think I'm on the autism spectrum somewhere. But even without ADHD, I find it really hard to focus on things. I think you're juggling so many things all the time. It's hard to stay on track, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
But one thing I have found, so I didn't really notice it as a problem in school because I didn't want to get in trouble. I wasn't a goody two shoes, I'd say, but I also just wanted to keep my head down and just go unnoticed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I was ginger, overweight, and had massive teeth.
Couldn't also have ADHD.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't really want to stand out for it. I wasn't bullied in school, and I'm lucky. I'm lucky given the circumstances, given the hands I've been dealt with in life. But it was when I got to college and I thought, okay, I can afford to actually stand out a little bit more here. I can afford to be a little bit more myself.
Yeah.
And that was when I first thought, oh God, now that it's proper unleashed, I was so much happier because I could be more myself. But I started to notice that trend that, God, I can talk about one thing the next and then be completely
off topic.
Yeah, I can almost turn around and talk to somebody else and not even know how I got there. Do you know what I mean? It's a really, and it's when you run a business and you've got deadlines as well and you can't control that or don't even realise you're doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
That becomes very difficult. But I do notice now, being a part of the small biz community, I am not the only one.
No, absolutely
By
not.
any means.
No.
If anything, I would say I'm in the majority, which is so bizarre.
Yeah, I think like neurodivergent people, does seem to be a lot of them in the small biz community.
It does, yeah.
Isn't there? And it's very, I'd love to know like the psychology behind it.
I would. Yeah. It's inclusive, I would say.
Yeah.
Extremely inclusive.
Yeah.
You can meet all kinds of people and everyone just seems to accept it and it's fine.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I think like we always say this, don't we? But I find like other small business owners the easiest people to get along with.
Yeah.
Just naturally. And I don't know if that is like a neurodivergent thing. I don't know if it's just because we've already got so much in common. It's just they're just very easy to talk to, I find.
Yeah, I never struggle at all. It's like I can be quite shy sometimes, but not business me ever.
Yeah, like at a market or like even doing the podcast. Like if like 3 years ago, if you'd said to me like we're gonna do this many episodes, we're gonna get guests in the studio, you're gonna have to sit and talk to them, I'd have absolutely shit myself. But now knowing small businesses, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fine. They'll be nice. I don't even like second guess it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you feel the same way, Amy? I mean, do you enjoy sort of getting out there and meeting?
Yeah, definitely. And I wrote down as well, like, that as a ratio, I guess, the number of neurodivergent people that are creative small business owners compared to like a lot of other fields is probably really high, like you say. And I think it's because like a lot of neurodivergent people are like drawn to creative pursuits and like want to do something creative in our free time, but also because we don't necessarily fit into the world of like traditional employment. So the idea of being self-employed, even if you're not fully self-employed and you've still got your day job kind of thing, the idea of being self-employed for that freedom and not having to do what someone else tells you is quite appealing to neurodivergent people as well.
Yeah, no, you're probably right, yeah.
But yeah, I'm the same, like at a craft fair, you know, like outside of craft fair really, I wouldn't really like go up to someone and talk to them, but a craft fair like put me down next to anyone and I'd be like, oh hi, how you doing, you having a good day? Like, love your stuff.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, just chat away to them, and you're there for like maybe 6 or 8 hours sometimes. You just chat when you've not got a customer in front of you, just chat to the people around you.
Yeah, I don't get nervous before a market at all, even though there's a chance that I could be next to a total stranger for the entire day. Whereas if it was just normal life and they said you've got to go and stand next to a stranger for 8 hours, I'd go, what now?
Or like get in the bush, you don't sit and talk to the person next to you, do you?
But at a market, I wouldn't think twice about it. I'm like, hiya, how you doing? You know?
I had I had a market at the weekend and it wasn't the best one. So most of us, it's like a monthly market and most of us didn't do as well as we had the previous month. But I still came away being like, oh, I've had a great day because I'd like met loads of like new business people, you know, that I've just chatted to all day.
That's what I really enjoy about markets though. It's like even if the sales aren't great, you can get something from it. Whereas, you know, when you sat looking at 0 sales coming through on your Etsy or on your website or whatever it is, there's not a whole lot of pros you can take away from that. And like I say, I really do feel like I fit into this community well, and it comes so natural to me as well. That's not saying that I completely dismiss anybody who isn't creative and doesn't run their own. There's a lot of friends who aren't at all. But I do find other makers more often than not just really easy to talk to, really easy to get along with. And I honestly think it is probably down to a common interest. Like I say, you've got something massive in common with them already. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're all quite impulsive. We're quite brave. We're quite ballsy because we've taken a step that isn't easy to go into self-employment. No. It's a risk.
We've all gone, fuck it, let's start a business.
Yeah, we're all messy and we're all a bit, where the fuck am I at all times? And I quite like that. I feel at home.
Yeah. No, I do. I think it's like the common thing between us all, unless you're running like a massive business, is that we don't have like staff or anyone to delegate to. So I think we're all a bit like, oh shit, what's going on? Because everything falls on you.
You're juggling so much at once.
So you're like, I'm like the admin team, I'm the photographer, I'm the maker, do you know, all that stuff. Like in a normal job, you'd have hundreds of employees to do all those things, and I'm expected to do it all.
Yeah.
No wonder I don't know what's going on.
They'd be like a lot better trained in their like specialised area as well. You were just kind of like muddling through without
winging it.
Basic knowledge on each bit.
Yeah. But I think that's why it's so hard to like focus on things.
Yeah, I mean,
it's everything all at once.
It's everything, yeah. But also, I mean, Amy, do you have a day job, or is this full time?
This is full time.
Full time,
isn't it? Yeah.
So I used to work retail, and then I was a teaching assistant for a while as well. So I have done this alongside a full time job.
And how did you find that balance?
It was hard. I think, because I loved my job when I was retail, and I kind of progressed from like a sales assistant to the manager, and then I was doing like the digital media and sort of the website and stuff. And I always I think I progressed because I was always kind of putting so much more in, like at a weekend or whatever, I'd be the one going around craft fairs, and like, because it was a lovely gift shop that's local, and they sold like local products from like, not just small businesses, but a lot of like local small businesses were in there. Yeah, so I'd be like going around market and then messaging the owner being like, oh, I've just seen this thing that would be great for the shop. And then I think when I had kids and was doing my own business, I kind of didn't have the time or kind of energy to put that 110% into every area of my life, and I kind of really struggled with that, I think. Kind of felt like I was never quite doing as much as I could be on each thing.
Anything. Yeah. Sometimes it's just like something's got to give, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've said that quite a lot recently, especially coming up to Christmas as well. That you can't do it all. Something has to give sometimes as well, and that's not a failure. If anything, you've taken on too much, and that's very brave of you. But with a day job now, one thing I massively struggle with is the authority. So thankfully, where I work now, there's a very hands-off approach. But I have worked in jobs as well with bosses that have been very much wanting to show that they're the boss, wanting to show that authority, and I massively struggle with authority because I run my own business. So I think it's hard for me to switch between those two heads and go, who are you telling me what to do?
No, I get that. I think obviously like we run the podcast together, and obviously I run the shop with my mum, and I think if we had that dynamic of like one of us was in charge, do you know what I mean? Like if the podcast, for example, if it was like, oh, it's Ellie's podcast and I have to do what she says, I wouldn't cope with that at all.
No, I don't think either of us would.
No, but I think I do find it easier than running my own business, and I think it's because there's somebody else there to kind of pick up the slack if you're having a shit time or if you're busy, but also just to like run ideas past and things like that. Like since I got like small business friends, I found running my own business much easier because I can be like, Ellie, what do you think of this design?
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean?
And we do that loads with each other.
I think things like that make a massive
stuff.
Difference. Keeping you focused and on task, because you're like, I don't know, is it like a dopamine thing? Is it like...
I think it's reassurance from someone that you trust. It's as simple as that. Somebody that you know will be honest.
Yeah, a big thing in the ADHD community is like that, I can't remember what they call it now. It's a really simple thing that I can't remember, but it's like almost like co-working, like almost like a buddy thing just for accountability. So they like want to do a job,
body doubling,
just to be there.
I'm a bit like that, body doubling.
Yeah, that's it, thank you. Like if I'm trying to do something that I really don't want to do, like my accounts or whatever, I'll say to my husband, like, I need you to make sure I do this tonight, and I need you to just sit with me while I do it. I don't need you to do anything, I just want you to be there and keep me accountable and make sure I do it, because otherwise I won't.
That's true though.
Like that, isn't it? Little hacks that you need, like you just have to figure out how your brain works and do what's best.
And we're all different as well. We shouldn't all be under any sort of umbrella by any means. Tips that work for some people won't work for others as well. I get what you mean about having somebody with you just to help you sort of even just going, come on, you can do it. But at the same time, I find other people a massive distraction. I am a talker. and I'm not a multitasker.
Yeah, that's a you problem, not another people
No,
problem.
I'm not saying it is for a second. It's not another people problem. But I do find sometimes I'll be working and talking and I can do both for maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But then I've got 2 into what I'm saying and I've had to stop, turn around, make eye contact with that person.
It's got to be the right person that you know is not going to let you get distracted, and they're just going to be like, no, come on, stay on task.
Yeah, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. That's when I got stroppy. But I mean, Amy, obviously, of the three of us here, you're the only one that is neurodivergent.
Technically.
Yeah. Do you find that it helps you? Do you find that it is a hindrance? Like, what are your sort of thoughts and experiences on that as a small business owner?
A bit of both, really. So for most of the time that I've been a small business owner, I didn't know that I was neurodivergent. I only got my diagnosis last year. That was kind of a 2-year process. So by the time I got through the waiting list and I got my diagnosis, I was pretty sure in my mind because I'd done so much research myself. And probably when I got that letter that kind of said, like, yeah, this is your diagnosis of ADHD, the biggest feeling I had was relief. And there's a quote online, I don't know who it's by, but it's like, there's relief in knowing that you're a normal zebra, not a strange horse. And I think that's the thing with ADHD. It's like you're not just struggling to fit into a world that's not built for you or built. You're struggling to fit in with systems that aren't built for your brain, basically. So when you find those systems, that really helps. But I think I probably wouldn't have a creative business if it wasn't for my ADHD. So there are definitely pros. And because I love what I do, I'm massively hyper-focused on it. So I can have days like where I've written a to-do list and I finished it by 11 o'clock in the morning because I've just hyper-focused and just done it. But equally, I think that's my biggest struggle really, is like time management. I really struggle, even though I've been doing it for 8 years, and I really struggle to know how long a task is going to take me. So when I'm writing my to-do list, I can have flown through it in like 3 hours, or it's actually 3 days worth of things. There's no kind of in between. So you either feel great, like, oh my God, I'm like getting through all my to-do list like really fast, or you feel shit, like, oh, I failed because I've not done, I think that's my biggest thing, is like time management and probably prioritising things as well. Everything just kind of feels top priority. So I kind of really struggle unless I've got like a deadline, like this order needs to be out by this day. Everything else kind of just gets done as and when, or doesn't.
See, my partner's got ADHD and he struggled, like similar things that you've just said. He struggles with time management and things like that. And I think his problem is he picks the like high dopamine tasks first, so like the funner things, or the things that have got the biggest reward at the end, and then all the shit bits are at the end, like are saved for last. And I'm like, I would do it completely the opposite of that.
I don't know if in our brain we're just hoping that the shit things are just going to go away.
Maybe. Someone else will do it, hopefully.
And I do want to be slightly careful what I say in this episode as well, because I don't want to be one of them dickheads that fucking self-diagnoses. I don't know, it could just be a me thing.
Maybe.
It could just be the way I am. I've got no idea. I know that my personality is very similar to my dad's. He's never been diagnosed with anything. Am I just his daughter and we're both just odd? You know what I mean? Like, I
think you're both ADHD.
Oh, right. But for me, I do find it a challenge. But as I say, it was something that sort of presented itself more in college for me, because I felt like I could be more myself. I felt like I could truly talk and just be me. Rather than just trying to be quiet and keep my head down, which I was trying to do in school. But I don't have any desire to have an answer. I don't have any desire to go on any sort of wait list or anything like that, or go for any assessment.
I mean, it doesn't change anything really, does it?
No, it really doesn't actually for me. I don't think I'd want to be medicated for it. But I will say that when I was in college, I did 2 courses at the same college. So one was just like a standard art and design college course. And then finishing that, you had to graduate that in order to go on for a HND. Now, I wanted to go on and do the HND rather than go to uni and start a degree. But I'd signed up for the HND, and obviously I still had about 6 months of the level 3 left. And there was one day, we were quite small groups. It was quite a small college, especially the art bit. But the head of art had come into the room and was clearly watching me. Like, I remember doing something on a computer, just like typing something up, and I'd got up to walk away, and she went, "What are you doing? Sit back down. You don't need time away from the screen just yet." And I was 18. And I said, "I'm a grown woman. Who are you talking to?" And I think after that, she saw that I was like, I was ready to kick off, basically, and she did sort of lead me to it. But I just kept thinking to myself, I thought, is this woman here to watch me? Because it felt like she was. It felt like her eyes were just solely on me. And I let it go. I thought, Ellie, you're just being a bit paranoid here. There's no way she's been sent in television just to watch you. Like, you've had nothing up until now. You've had a couple of warnings for doing naughty things that we won't go into. But but other than that, you know, there was nothing. I wasn't an absolute arsehole fucking student by any means. I was just a little bit naughty. I've tried my luck, basically, you know, as you do when you're 18. But a couple of weeks later, I got called into a room with my tutor, another tutor, and the same head of art, and a teaching assistant as well that I think specialised in special educational needs, basically.
Right, okay.
And they sat me down and they said, you know, we're not sure about letting you on the HND, basically. They said, you're going to be with students that are much older than you, mature students, and I feel like they're going to find you too much. And I was stunned.
Oh, Ellie.
And then I asked them the reason why, and they said, you distract other people all the time. You cannot focus on one thing. You pace the room constantly. And I took it very, very personally.
Yeah.
I was very upset. I just thought, wow, this is something that you tell a 5-year-old child.
Yeah. The thing is, you are distracting.
Yeah,
but also, they're adults.
Yeah, they are.
They're
This is
letting
what I was trying
themselves
to
be
get
distracted.
through. Well, this is what the other, because I was not the oldest in that course either. It was still a mixed group, but few of them took offence to it when I told them about it, and a couple of them in particular went up to the tutor and said, she does not distract me. I am my own person.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to speak to who I speak to. And in the end, the tutors did end up completely backtracking. I got onto that HND with no trouble.
Like, they're adults as well. Like,
Yeah.
I'm older than you, and if I was distracting you, I'd expect you to say, Jade, shut the fuck up, you distracted me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And vice versa.
Also, it's an art course, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of all the courses.
Yeah.
Like,
Have a
there's
bit of
gonna
fun.
be so many personalities, yeah. My art class, I think, was where I, like, so I think at school I always did really well because I had that structure. Like, you know, we had the lessons, we had the timetable. And then as I got older and we had, you know, more free periods like at A-level and that, I kind of struggled and I didn't get as good grades as I should have. And then even more so at uni, so I did the art degree, and I think in first year we had maybe like a lecture a week, and then second and third year I don't think we had any lectures. It was literally just like studio time, which is just like, it does make you wonder what you're paying your £9,000 for. It's basically just a really expensive studio. But like, I just think that to me was just like free time, and then I'd like panic and do my artwork like a week before the deadline. So I got a 2-2, which was probably what I deserved, and I should have probably got more. But anyway, but my best friend on the course like lived right opposite the campus in second year, so we just go to her house, day drink, and then go into the studio and splash some paint around.
You and me had very similar experiences. I'm telling you that. I'm sat here nodding along like, yeah, that could have basically been me. I only lasted about 4 months. No, not even that.
No.
About 3 months at uni, if that. For that reason, because it was all studio, it felt quite bleak. And I was the same.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what the fuck am I paying this money for?
Yeah.
I've got a studio. This one's shitter, and it's 50 miles away. Like,
It feels very unstructured, doesn't it, when you go from like school to college or uni?
Yeah, there's no accountability.
No, none whatsoever. And I feel like it's because you're an adult, obviously, but I wasn't ready to be an adult.
Yeah.
I'm still in education. I need someone to say, like, you've got to be here at this time and you've got to do this. And there was just really none of that. And I actually struggled with that as well, to be fair.
And you're a teenager getting your first taste of proper freedom. So
Yeah.
if you're given so much freedom, you're going to take it. Like,
Yeah, it's too much.
you're the same as me, except I didn't struggle. I thrived. And I think I overly thrived to the point where it was a problem. I remember coming back to a life drawing lesson once, and I was technically 3 hours late when this life drawing lesson started. And my tutor went to me, where have you been? And he was an Italian bloke, and he was just, I really liked him, but he was just so dry. He went, where have you been? And I went, spoons. And he went, I thought so. He said, could you stand up straight, please? And I stood up straight as best as I could. And he went, tell me honestly now, are you proud of yourself? And it's one of the most profound questions anybody's ever asked me to this day. Even now, like 7 years later, I'm like, am I proud of myself? What a question.
But see, this sounds like you didn't thrive. This sounds like you also struggled, but you just enjoyed it.
Well, yeah.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I've completely lost where we're up to. But yeah, just to wrap that bit up, I personally, I think another reason that I'm not interested in being sort of assessed, or I had the option, by the way, in that meeting in college, they did say, you know, we'd like to put you through this. And I knew it was their very soft way of telling me it was an ADHD assessment.
Yeah.
But back then as well, that was still very much to me, naughty child.
Yeah.
It very much still had that stigma, which I didn't relate to at all.
You are a naughty child.
No.
But but no, it was almost like taboo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't, like, obviously there was ADHD and there was autism and things like that, but it was like not really spoken about.
Yeah, it was just like the naughty boy in primary school, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember like I saw someone that I'd been to secondary school with who was very much like me at secondary school. You know, we were both sort of like top set for everything, gifted and talented, register, you know, massive people pleasers basically. And she'd posted on Facebook about having her ADHD diagnosis. This was probably like 5 or 6 years ago now, so still a couple of years before I even had that light bulb moment myself. And I remember reading that and being like, how weird, we were so similar at school, like how ADHD? And then like 3 years later, like, oh.
And everything makes sense.
And I'm terrible now. Like I look around my friends and I'm like, you've got ADHD. You've got it. Diagnosing everyone.
I had a market once and there was 2 girls either side of me that I just clicked with straight away. Like they were fucking chaotic as fuck. But all 3 of us during setup were just complete drama queens. And I thought, I just like these 2. I get on with them. And in the end, we were talking throughout the day and one of them made a comment. She went, do you think this market has purposely put all the ADHD girlies together? And I was like, oh, I'm not diagnosed. And they both just laughed at me. But I think one of the many reasons I was so upset with that meeting in college was because to me, it still had that stigma from school of being like the naughty child. And I just didn't relate to that at all. And I thought, fuck me, I've been here a year and a half. These people don't know me at all. How dare they? Because I'm not naughty. I'm different. But I think I also, as I get older as well, I think one of the reasons I don't want to chase it up, I'm not interested in it, is because if I have. It's just something that I've always suspected ticked off. If I haven't, and this is just the way I am.
Blissful ignorance.
Yeah, blissful ignorance. I think I'm fine the way I am. I don't know. If it ever becomes too much of an issue, you never know. But for the time being, I'm all right.
So you say it's not too much of an issue, but it does affect your business day to day.
It does actually, yeah. Quite a lot.
What do you think would be the cut-off where you're like, actually, this is a problem now?
If I was letting people down, sometimes I really have to remind myself about. So I'm very quick with Etsy orders to get them out for the reason that I don't want to forget about them.
Yeah.
And it's mainly forgetfulness, to be honest. It is. Sometimes at a market where it can be in full swing because I'm concentrating on lots of things at once and I'm already sort of up, like borderline hyper, because I've got to hype myself up for this market. I've had it before where people have been talking to me and I've either changed the subject too quickly or other things have pointed things out to me that I don't know that could come across as rude if you didn't know me. And I'm always a little bit taken aback by that because I don't mean to be rude at all.
Yeah. But yeah, and I do get what you mean. I don't think you necessarily need a diagnosis. I think obviously, Amy, it's helped you knowing what's going on and, you know, things like that. But I don't think necessarily it doesn't change what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
Unless you want to go down the medication pathway. I think I'd learnt more about myself in that 2 years that I was actually on the waiting list and I was doing the research myself than actually when I got the diagnosis. It was just like, oh, thank God, it's not just all in my head.
Yeah.
Someone else agrees. It does. Apart from that, it doesn't really change anything. And I might go down the medication route. It's just, I think when you learn more about yourself, whether you are put in that ADHD box or not, you just need to find the strategies and systems that work for you. And that's not necessarily, you know, if things that people with diagnosed ADHD find helpful also help you, great. Or it might be something else. You just got to find what works for your brain. And
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I really don't think I have ADHD or anything like that. But I think it's taken me fucking, I don't know, 7-8 years of business to learn, actually, you can't work under this environment, try this, or do you know, that kind of thing. Like, I struggle without a structure. I think I need to set myself like, right, this is what you're doing tomorrow, otherwise I'll just go completely haywire and do my own thing.
When we first started the podcast, actually, Jade was coming up with all these sort of planners of like literally what we'd be doing day to day, and I struggled with that, to be honest.
You don't work that way.
Know I did, to the point where I just said, Jade, I'm just gonna have to not look at it, I'm really sorry. If you want me to do something, I'll do it. But in terms of going back to a table every single and looking and taking, nah, thank you. No. But I know that you need to work that way, so that's okay. I wasn't like, Jade, delete it. I hate it. You know what I mean? I know that you prefer to work in that way.
I think just looking through the notes that you guys sent, like Jade's sections are very like you've typed it out how you're planning to say it in your head. Whereas Amy's more just like, I'm going to talk about this.
We clash on that a lot, don't we? Like when we first started, I kept being like, get the script, and Ellie'd be like, it's not a fucking script.
I was so worried about that going into the first episode. I thought if Jade just sits and reads off a bit of paper and just doesn't even look at me or talk
like
at
a
me the whole
newscaster.
time. Whereas thankfully on the first day, I think we match each other's energy very well as well. So even though we plan things differently, when we're actually together in a room, it works well.
Yeah.
It has its problems, don't get me wrong. It's not plain sailing at all. But it's something we do plan very differently, and it's just something that we have to understand each other. And I think, like I say, this episode isn't particularly about being
neurodivergent.
This episode isn't particularly about being neurodivergent. It's about being a small business owner and the way all our brains work differently because we are working for ourselves, because there isn't that structure.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because we're all fucking insane enough to want to do this. Yeah. To go, I like art, I'll make a business out of that.
You stupid bitch.
I know.
But I think, I would say 99% of my distractions are...
me.
Ellie. No, I think they're other business things. I'll set out for a day and be like, right, you've got to do product photography today. But then I'll be like, oh shit, I haven't replied to that email, or I haven't packed that order, things like that. I think I don't think it's necessarily even to do with how my brain works. I think it's just because there's too much.
Yeah, and you can't
for
plan
one
it.
person.
You don't know when the orders are going to come in. You don't know when someone's going to message you with an urgent custom request.
That's the thing. You can plan your day down to the second, but it's never going to go like that.
Yeah, I think as well with small business owners, because we do everything ourselves, I struggle to differentiate. My phone, I know it's the same for loads of people, is a massive distraction.
Yeah.
But a lot of what I'm doing is business stuff, because I'm trying to squeeze bits into random minutes of the day. So I'll be on Canva, while I'm cooking tea, trying to make a little poster for the next craft fair or whatever, and you're just trying to,
oh my God,
you're trying to just squeeze in little, and I think that's where the line blurs between, I have, especially now that I don't have another job as well, I have a pretty good life-work balance, and I can go to my kids' nativities, and I volunteer as a school governor, I get to do all that. But it's just those little things that you end up squeezing in around all that you don't necessarily plan for. Yesterday I was just I need some more email sign-ups. I'm going to make a poster for my next craft fair and try and get if I give you 10% off on the day if you sign up to my newsletter kind of thing, I'm going to make a poster for that right now, and I'm doing that while I'm trying to do something else. You just end up squeezing into all the little minutes in your day because you've not planned for them.
No, I'm exactly the same. Even the things that other people do in their spare time, doom scrolling, we kind of have to do things like that because we're looking for the latest audio to post on a reel, or looking to see what other content people are posting and things like that. So even that, hours of your life can be wasted doing that because you're looking for something specific.
Yeah.
But I haven't got time to be doing that, really. Do you know what I mean?
And it's not time that you factor in either. It's
not
I'm going to spend an hour researching the latest trends for my content creation. You just end up doing it. Because otherwise, when would you do it?
Yeah, and then before you know it, the day is gone.
Yeah. And you've got nothing anyway.
Yeah.
I can only sort of talk about it with examples, really. So I am going to give people a few examples of how it's affected. So I remember on this particular night, I was working till probably around, it was retail, so I'm going to say around about 6 o'clock. And then I did have orders to dispatch. So the plan was to go home, but I thought I'd get these orders out straight away before I forget about them, because that's what I do. So went back to the studio, and it was just a couple of small orders that I had to post out. But could I find my stamps anywhere? No, I could not. And there was no one to ask because it was getting quite late at night, so everybody else at the studio was sort of left and gone home. There was nobody to ask at all. I remember thinking, I 100% bought stamps last week. I did. I failed to believe they're not here. And then I thought, I trust everybody at the studio 100%, so I wasn't doing this to be like, who's that off with them? But I just said, I just messaged in the WhatsApp group chat, so 18 other artists that would have seen this, saying, has anybody seen my stamps? Because I definitely bought some the other day. Does anybody know where I might have put them? Can someone climb inside my brain?
Yeah.
And sort of, and I've got a few messages back going, no, Ellie, sorry, I don't know. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then suddenly out of nowhere, I noticed a bottle of milk on my desk. And I went, why the fuck is there a bottle of milk on my desk? That's weird. It wasn't cold anymore.
Can I guess
It'd been
where
there a while.
Are the stamps in your fridge, Jelly?
Yeah. And I had to message the group chat and be like, never mind, they were in the fridge. And no one questioned it at all. Just a couple of people went, yeah. Because the fact that nobody's even surprised. By the way, we might need new milk. I don't know how long this one's been sat out.
When I was pregnant with my second, I literally Googled, where have I put my pregnancy books? Because I thought Google was going to answer that for me. I was like, I'm sure I saved them from my first pregnancy, and there's like 5 and a bit years between my kids, so I was like, I've forgotten everything, I don't know what I'm doing, I need to find out how to have a baby. And then literally they're giggling, where did I put my pregnancy books? And my husband's like, I don't think it's going to tell you that.
ChatGPT would have known.
I've tried to ring me to find my own phone.
So yesterday we had another recording session. So the studio where we record is in the basement of my shop. So we come in through the shop and go down the stairs. And I would say about half an hour of our day yesterday was spent looking for Ellie's water bottle in the studio.
Then
we went to leave and she'd left it in the shop. All day you were like, I just don't know where my water is. Like, we were looking under the couch, like everything.
Yeah.
I think you are just forgetful.
I don't know, yeah, maybe it could be that, but just to give another instance as well, because for me, why I say it's a challenge with my own business, it's the amount of time that it takes out my day.
Yeah.
So the best way to do that is with an example as well, and you are going to have to really bear with me for this one. If you thought the stamp and milk story was bad, wait for this one. So I was doing a big job at the studio, and by a big job I mean like a stock check, because I've got like so many pictures that it takes a while to fucking get through and all count. And I'm a chain smoker as well, which really doesn't help my case. Now with a big job I have to be very careful not to lose track, so I purposely try and make a mental note if I do stop of exactly where I was up to, even write it down if I have to. But I'd gone out for a smoke and I thought I'll just have a quick puff and then like I'll get back in and it'll be fine. But I saw 2 pigeons sat on a fence, and straight away it just took my eye. I like birds. So I was just looking at them and I thought, oh, do you know what? I reckon they're either a couple or they're best friends.
Aww.
Like, I just thought these are not 2 stranger pigeons. Like, these 2 have got history. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're mates at the very least. And I just thought, oh, isn't that nice that they're sort of flying together and now they're just sat on the fence together? Like, it's lovely. Like, even birds, like, have a person. I just think that's lovely. Well, not a person, but a pigeon. But I just thought that's so lovely. And then out of nowhere, I'm sat smoking this, and then this one pigeon just flew off. And by flew off, I mean into the fucking distance.
Oh, God.
Like, darted. Like, I thought, oh my God, it'll be in Wales in 5 minutes.
Maybe they did a row.
That's a good point, actually. But I just thought to myself, I'm watching this pigeon fly off, and I thought, right, when you've seen one pigeon, you really have seen them all. So how do they recognise each other? How the fuck are these 2 ever going to find each other ever again? And then I just thought, is it like people where like one might go off to work, but they've still got a meeting point? Like, is their meeting point on that fence? Is this their home? You know what I mean? They just know where to come back. I thought, do pigeons have a sense of direction when they're up in the air? I'd imagine that'd be difficult. And I just thought, you know, how do they know? Like, how will that pigeon know where that other pigeon is to go back to it? And I thought, do pigeons ever fly too far? And like, when they go too far, do they notice that the accent's changed and think, fuck, where am I? You know what I mean? Did they have hometowns? Does he reside in Runcorn? But I just thought, oh my gosh, all these questions going through my head. And I thought, I can't Google this because it's too much to Google. Like, I wouldn't even know how to word it, that Google. And I've done that many a time where I've Googled something and even Google's gone, what the fuck are you on about? But I thought, I don't have answers to any of these questions, and I'm likely never going to have answers to any of these questions. But do you know who I think would? David Attenborough. And then I thought, is he retired? I thought he must be, because he's cracking on a bit now, isn't he? And I thought, he's a nice guy. Everybody seems to like him. It would be a sad day when he goes. And then I thought, I wonder how old he is. And I thought, now that I can get an answer to. So I'm still outside with a cigarette in my hand that's probably gone out 3 hours ago. But I thought, I'll have a look on his Wikipedia. I thought, fuck me, he's 99.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like that's old, that. And I just thought, as you do when you're on Wikipedia, scroll straight down to personal life. I thought, let's see if he's as fucking wholesome as people make out. Now, it turns out he is.
Okay.
He was married to a woman and then she died, I think, in the 90s, and he's got a couple of kids with her who've both got good jobs. Like, he just seems like a good family bloke. And I thought, oh, fair fucks to you, David, like, you deserve the hype. But I went back into the studio and I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. Like, you'd have had better luck asking the one remaining pigeon that was sat on the fence, to be honest. Like, but when I say things like that happen, sometimes as often as maybe 10 times a day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just curious about life to like a child's level, but I never remember what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and it takes me
something
say
going on, isn't there?
the conversation that's been going on in my head, the David Attenborough thing, the pigeon thing outside has been 10 minutes. But then going back into the studio and trying to remember where I was at, where I'd left things at is another 10 minutes. That's 20 minutes.
Yeah. And if that's happening 10 times a day.
Exactly. Yeah. That is exactly my point, and that is why it's a struggle. It's taken me a while to make that point. But
another 10, 20 minutes you've wasted. No, I see why that would be a problem.
It's exhausting as well.
I just don't know how to really solve it for you.
No, I don't think anybody does. It's exhausting though, that's another thing. If I have these thoughts a lot and my brain just feels like it can't switch off, and it does it a lot when I'm trying to go to sleep. Oh my God, I think about everything. Nothing and everything at the same time. And that again is its new set of challenges, because I don't sleep because I'm sat up thinking, how do batteries work?
You don't need to know.
But I do.
You don't need to know where the pigeon's going. You don't need to know how batteries work. You need to just come to peace with it.
Yeah.
You don't know and you don't need to.
I do.
You don't. See, I don't have these problems at all. I don't think about those kinds of things.
I'm thinking about it now.
We work very differently, Ellie. All of my distractions are other business things or like home things, like I've got to put a wash on or...
Yeah, I have that as well. That's going on as well.
I'm
not just a scruff who doesn't wash the
clothes. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, maybe I'm at an advantage then.
I think you are
don't
in
have
some
these pigeon
ways.
feelings.
This is what I mean, because it's true about the advantages and disadvantages. Because I've had it before where I've expressed these thoughts to somebody else and somebody's gone, oh, you're so funny, you're such a card. And I'm thinking, it wasn't meant to be funny.
Yeah. It's a funny story, but I imagine it's not funny to live like that.
Exactly. So it's that advantage and disadvantage, because I think some people think, some people don't get it at all and think I'm an absolute raging weirdo, and I probably am, but Amy's looking slightly scared, to be honest.
Yeah, Amy will never speak to us again.
I'm just sitting here thinking I have diagnosed ADHD and I'm not sure my brain works like that either.
There's something completely different going on with you, Ellie.
It definitely doesn't stop, but I don't think it's quite that random. Like it is usually based on what's going on in my daily life. I mean, I guess that was what was going on in your daily life, saw a pigeon, but...
I see how you got there.
And I can follow it. Like, you know, if I was talking to someone else and they were telling me that, I'd be like, oh, yeah, now I kind of have to know what's about pigeons. So it probably wouldn't have occurred to me.
Yeah. Have you got any tips for dealing with this, Ellie?
So in terms of focus in general, I do find that there are things that help, but I think to embrace it is something that you must learn to do. So obviously I have moments where I'm like, oh fucking hell, Ellie, just please try and concentrate, like please, like you really need this done by this certain time, and that is obviously where it becomes very difficult. But even telling yourself to concentrate, that does fuck all. It really doesn't. Panic helps me, I'll be honest. A tight deadline, a cheeky mental breakdown, that helps. That gets things done. But like I say, I do find that other people can find it quite endearing. Some people find it irritating as fuck. But playing music helps me as well. So what I mean by that as well is playing music off my phone, because then I'm less inclined to go near the phone. So that's less things that I can... It's one of the reasons that I do all-nighters as well, because I know that there'll be nobody else there. There'll be nobody else that I'll want to gab to, either to distract myself or even distract them. You know, that's why I do the all-nighters when I've got a lot of things to do and I know that I just need nothing, like the complete, not even noises outside to bother me, because it's the middle of the night, no one else is awake other than me. But that helps me. It's not healthy, but if I've got a lot of things to do on a very tight deadline, I have to put myself in those circumstances to be able to focus. But leaving my phone where I can't easily access it does help me. I remember one day at the studio I'd accidentally left my phone at home, and I've never got so much work done in my life. And I'm not even a doom scroller per se. It's just even, you know, just picking it up and just flicking through apps and having absolutely no idea why I'd picked it up in the first place. Another thing that really helps me is putting my phone on, some people call it do not disturb mode. I think that's the name for it. I call it nighttime mode because it's just got a little picture of a moon. But I have my phone on that constantly, all the time.
Something else that we both do that's probably not very healthy is the little snacky system.
Yeah. We've spoke about that quite a lot. It's very unhealthy.
You do a job, you get a treat. You do a job, you get a treat.
Like if I go to the studio in the morning, I might go buy myself like a bar of chocolate or something, but I can only have that once my jobs are done.
Yeah, we do it with the podcast as well though. We schedule obviously we schedule breaks because we need a break break, but really it's snack time, isn't it?
It's snack and smoke time, yeah.
Do an episode, get us
Yeah.
I do a lot of work in the evenings when the kids are in bed, and my husband will be like, I'm going to go down to the kitchen and get a snack. Do you want anything? And I'm like, not till I've finished. Like,
yeah.
snack now, I get anything done. So I end up having a little snack at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
It's so unhealthy, isn't it? But it does work.
It works.
It's how I learned to drive. A friend sat in the passenger seat, and every time I changed my gear without looking at it, she was like, there you go, have a bit of fudge.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. We all need friends like that. We all need fudge friends.
I'd love that on a driving test. Imagine you passed while they just shove a Jaffa cake into your mouth. Well done. Little tap on the head. Like a dog being trained.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. I think we both have said before that we don't do like a daily to-do list, but I think a to-do list generally does help me. But I try and do like, these are the things that you need to get done in your life, work through them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I don't set like, you need to do this today, because that puts me into panic mode.
Yeah. I think I do what a lot of ADHD people do, where you like break down a task into loads of little, very manageable tasks.
Yeah.
So that you get that dopamine of like, yes, I opened my laptop.
Yeah.
I wrote the title. But then
I got out of bed.
Yeah. Then sometimes we've got so much to do. Like, I had some massive wholesale orders recently for Christmas, and then my to-do lists were just like pages and pages long, and I just had days where all I'd done was written a list and then stared at it in complete panic because it was so long and there was so much to do, and I was just so overwhelmed that I did nothing.
Yeah, sometimes I spend more time writing the list than I do doing the things on the list.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that though, because my relationship with to-do lists has completely changed. So when I first started the business, I'd go to the studio, and at that point I shared with a lady called Rachel, and we both start our day by writing a to-do list. And that was okay with me. I could do that. Whereas now a to-do list, it fucking terrifies me. I can't do it. I've got a completely different relationship with it now, whereas I don't do it. What I'm more inclined to do now is, if something has a deadline, is to write it on a post-it note. Just scribble it down on a post-it note and just stick it on the wall.
That's a good idea.
Rather than an actual list.
I think something that really helps me, because I have Etsy and I have my website and I have my wholesale orders and I have like a couple of like rent-a-shelf type shops and like loads of different, I've just signed up for more platforms that I don't really need, and I can't deal with having all those deadlines separately, so I think it helps me to have like a centralised list of outstanding orders and when they're all due, instead of having to open Etsy and having to open my website and having to look in all these different places to find out which one I should be doing today.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. I think that's another thing as well, like I said, most of my distractions are business related because you're the person that's doing everything, but another thing like that is that you also feel like you've got to have your fingers in all the pies to kind of get that income, but you lose track of what you're doing, and like day to day, like, oh, I'm stocked here, but I've got to put these orders on my website, and you know, things like that, because there's so many different income streams. Even that in itself is
my
confusing and
so
distracting.
Like, I just need a few days where I can sit and do my website, but that always gets whatever the opposite of prioritised is, because I'm prioritising getting the orders out on time, so that always just gets ignored.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's just so much to keep on top of.
Are you like me as well? Do you struggle with the laptop jobs, Amy? I really do. That's why my Etsy is just completely neglected.
Yeah, I've been channeling you guys actually, because I normally do everything on my phone, and now I'm like, no, it's a big girl job, you've got to get your laptop out.
How cute are you?
I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because my day job is staring at my laptop all day. It could have made that slightly worse for me, but I can't bring myself to do it at all.
Yeah, no, I hate doing things on my phone. I do hate the laptop jobs, but I feel like once you've got your laptop out, I'm doing it then. Do you know what I mean? I think for me, something that absolutely doesn't work is putting things off. I think I'm always torn between like, well, I'm the only person that's going to get this done, and, oh, fuck it, you're your own boss, do what you want. But I think if I put something off, instead of spending the time doing it, I'll spend the time thinking, oh, you've got to do that. Do you know what I mean? And like obsessing over it. So I'm not giving myself a break. I'm just prolonging the scary thing I've got to do.
And usually it doesn't take anywhere near as long, or is it anywhere near as hard as you think it's going to be?
No, absolutely not.
I spoke about that a bit in the burnout episode. I'm the opposite. I will purposely leave it to the last minute because I get a little kick out of it when I know I've done a month's worth of work in 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's insane.
No, that's stress. I'm getting chest pains now thinking about it.
Yeah, but again, we work really differently like
absolutely.
that. But again, I wouldn't say that's a method that works for me.
No.
When I was at school, I did art and design, obviously, and at like GCSE and A-level, I had the same teacher pretty much throughout. I think it was only like year 8 where I had a different teacher. So I got to know him really well, and especially at like A-level, it was a really small cohort doing the art course. And he'd be like, how are you getting on with your homework? And it was usually like a double page spread or a couple of double page spreads of your sketchbook or whatever. And he'd be like, how are you getting on with your homework? And I've always been like, oh yeah, great, nearly done. And then I hadn't even started it. And then I'd have to like set an alarm for 4 a.m. to do it on like the day it was due, because that's the only way it was getting done.
Oh, God.
And then I'd be there like with my charcoals or whatever, like on the floor, trying not to wake my parents up, like doing my art. And then I'm like, why do I do this to myself? But I can't even say now that I've not had time to do it, because I've already told him it's done.
Yeah.
Like, I put myself in this position, but that's the only way it was going to get done.
Oh, you're still like that now?
Pretty much, yeah. I have to have a deadline. There's got to be the threat of like...
Yeah.
It is. It's the threat, isn't it? What will happen if I don't hit that deadline? Will I just disintegrate into dust?
Oh, God, no. I'm completely opposite. I have got to get it done there and then.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't get about you.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me.
We are completely different.
I know. I mean, I've been to therapy for it. She can't fix me. I don't know.
I think as well, like, I've had teachers and tutors that have said, like, don't leave this to the last minute. This isn't the kind of thing you can do in 24 hours. And that almost is like a challenge to me.
Yeah.
I can.
You reckon?
Watch me.
I'd be exactly the same, you know.
Maybe if someone was like, I bet you can't do this tonight.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? It's so funny you should say that, because the same, you know, that Italian tutor that I was telling you about at college? One time I'd done a drawing that I absolutely fucking hated at college, and he leant over me and he went, you've lost your spark completely.
Oh, God.
And I went, you are? He said, yeah, you can't draw like you used to. He said, I think you just passed it.
Oh, my God.
And I went, fuck you, I'll show you. And the reverse psychology, do you know what I mean? Though, when somebody's made that effort to get to know you, to know what kind of fucking twisted techniques are going to work. He was a brilliant tutor, really good.
Oh.
That's how so many of us survive as small business owners as well, is because we're so determined to prove everyone wrong that said it wouldn't work, that said we couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So no matter how hard it gets for small businesses, we're going to be clinging on.
Yeah, but I think that's a big reason of why we like overload ourselves so much, because we're like, I'm desperate to prove that this was the right decision for me. I was right to open a business, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's probably not very healthy, but
no, it's not.
We're surviving.
We almost behave like everybody else is against us, and they're not.
They're not. No.
Supportive friends and family behind us, but we're still sort of like, I'll show you.
Yeah, everyone's rooting for us, but we're like, fuck you, yeah, I can.
Maybe we've all just got a massive chip on our shoulders that we think we can cure with art.
We can't. That's my advice from today.
But in terms of sort of things that do and don't work for you, Amy, do you have any sort of like specific?
Is there anything that you know absolutely that's not for me?
I was trying to think. I've got a few that kind of maybe sort of work. I'm not saying they're advice, but I have to have something on in the background. But I think it does depend what I'm doing. So I exclusively listen to audiobooks. I haven't got time to be sitting there holding a book and thinking about all the other things that I could be doing with my hands. So I listen to audiobooks, but they are always like thrillers. And obviously you've got to be really invested. And it's not the kind of thing that you'd listen to twice, because once you know who's done it, you know who's done it.
Yeah.
So if I'm like trying to concentrate on a laptop job, I can't be listening to a thriller, because that's just, I can't split my mind that much. But if it's something that I've done a million times, for, you know, if I'm cutting out clay or whatever, I can listen to a thriller. Otherwise it's like music or just a sitcom that I've seen a million times before. It has to be on in the background. Does my head in, actually, because I share an office space with my husband. I say share, I get like 3/4 of it. He's got like a desk in the corner. But he has the radio on out loud, and I'm like, I can't listen to my thing, and your thing is not doing it for me. So I have to have my headphones in. It really annoys me. You put your headphones in. I do have to have a to-do list, and I can't write it on the day either. Really, I have to write it like the night before, otherwise I'll waste an hour writing my to-do list. And we've already talked about it, but like having someone that like holds me accountable. So even if he listens to his radio all day, it is quite helpful. When my husband's working from home, he doesn't do it all the time, but when he is working from home, because it kind of makes me sit at my desk and focus, which I am getting better at, I think, now that I do this full time. I think the only thing I could think of really that doesn't work, I mean there's probably a million things that don't work, but the one thing I tried was like splitting. So my youngest is usually at the childminders 2 days a week. So I've got like 2 dedicated days where I can work on my business that's not trying to cram things in when they've gone to bed or whatever. And I tried splitting it, so like on Mondays I'd do the creation, and on Thursdays I'd do the admin. And that just didn't really work for me, because you never know when you're going to get like a last minute order, or when you're going to have like loads of emails and stuff to get back to. So that didn't really work, trying to split it up like that. I think the one thing I have stuck to is doing my financial stuff like at the end of each month, because that's always my worst bit of running a business. And every like January I'll panic at the deadline. I'm not going to get to it. I do like my monthly go through my accounts and write down what's come in, what's gone out.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's really helped, and I think that's going to help a lot in January when I come do my tax return.
Oh, that's such a good tip. It's fucking hard, isn't it?
So as I say, like, we just wanted to keep that really light-hearted, you know, that sort of section of the episode, because we don't want to be, you know, self-diagnosing pricks. It is genuinely, we can only talk about our own honest experiences without putting a label on it. We both spoke about our struggles today, both you, Jade, Amy and me.
All three of us.
Both all three of us. All three of us have sort of spoke about our struggles today. You know, Amy, obviously you have been diagnosed with ADHD. Me and Jade haven't been diagnosed with anything, but it doesn't even matter. You know, we can only talk about our experiences, our own struggles, what works and what doesn't. I do think the reason we wanted to talk about this was because, one, I find it such a challenging part of my business. The fact that it's my own brain that's the enemy here.
It's hard to work with, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think a lot of people will find this relatable. And again, this podcast is just all about showing people that they're not alone.
Yeah. And again, we're not here to go, this works for us, so it'll work for you. Like, top tip of the day, this is what you should be doing. Because we don't fucking know what you should be doing, because we don't fucking know what we should be doing.
Well, we've talked about that, haven't we, as well? You know, things that Jade really likes to do for the planning for the podcast, I fucking hate, and vice versa. So
I think it's just important to kind of trial and error things and figure out what works for whatever the fuck's going on in your brain. Do you know what that noise means, Ellie?
That it's Christmas?
Yeah, and it's time for Q&A.
Aww.
This is just a little section of the podcast where we answer a few questions from our listeners and Instagram followers. Today we've got 2 questions, as usual. Ellie, do you want to read the first one?
So since we are well and truly gearing up for Christmas now, this episode and future episodes as well until January will have a Christmas themed Q&A, and starting off with an oh so cheerful from Alex from Got You Covered. We know shoppers tend to get a little more angsty, shall we say, around Christmas shopping time. Has a customer ever been blatantly rude to you at Christmas?
Honestly, off the top of my head, there's nothing that stands out specifically, but I think generally customers at Christmas are just feral, like online especially, but also at markets. Like, everyone wants like a bargain, or online everyone wants to know, like, where the fuck's my order? But I just think people have got like a certain audacity at Christmas. Like, everyone's just a little bit rude, aren't they?
I don't know about that.
Oh, all right, just me then.
Try and see the best in people.
Okay. What
Any
you guys?
specific example though, Jay? Because it sounds like Alex wants the gossip.
She does, yeah. I honestly haven't got anything specific.
Oh no.
Have you?
It wasn't a customer, and I have spoke about this. I actually think I spoke about this in episode 1. At a Christmas market once, I had the loveliest market. So this is what I mean. People were coming over, like coming to me. I didn't know you'd be here today. Oh, this is so good. I really wanted to buy stuff. It was, you know, comments like that.
Yeah.
And I was so touched. Everybody was just so lovely to me. And then just at the end of the day, this one woman come over and she was looking at my stuff for ages, and I thought, I'm onto a winner here. You know, and they seemed genuinely interested. And then she just looked at me and she went, "It's a bit art school, isn't it?"
Ooh.
And I didn't really know what to say to that, because it is.
Because I went to art school.
So I just went, yeah, I suppose. And she said comments like, "I reckon you do well here." So I was in Runcorn. "You do well here, but I reckon you'd flop in Manchester and Liverpool."
Oh, God.
"You just fade into the background," was the word she'd used. And I thought, well, I've traded in those places and done okay, but okay.
Yeah, thank you though.
And I don't know, she just seemed sort of determined to make comments to sort of put me down. And then there was another comment of sort of, what's the point?
Oh, God.
So what's the point of you being here? She wasn't a customer, but I later found out that she was helping somebody else behind a stall at the same market.
Oh, she should know better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really strange. I just sort of thought, why she felt the need to come over and sort of critique it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Why is she, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't remember at any point going to her, "Please give me all your opinions."
Yeah. Tell me exactly what you think, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, that's what I mean. It's just like a certain, it's not necessarily Christmas customers, it's just customers in general sometimes, isn't it? But
I think Christmas had brought that out in people.
do you reckon?
Yeah. I don't think that would have happened at a summer market. I don't know why.
No, maybe not, yeah.
I don't know. The only thing I can put that down to was that even though she was only helping somebody at a market, this was towards the end of the day. Maybe she'd been there all day. The place where we were was fucking freezing cold. Maybe she was just knackered and thought, "Oh, fuck it," and the filter had just completely gone.
maybe. But
And I
still.
think maybe people's filter does tend to be a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? The threshold lowers at Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, no, you are right, I think.
Amy,
what about you, Amy?
Can you give Alex the gossip that she so desperately wants?
I don't think I've really got anything. I think definitely online, customers tend to be rude. I find in markets at Christmas, usually they're in a pretty good mood. It depends on the market. I think when it's really busy, people can be a bit overwhelmed, as I would be.
Yeah.
I did one last November and I'm doing it again this November, and it gets really busy. And I remember thinking, like, I'm so glad I'm behind a stall because I felt a bit protected.
Yeah.
It was just people just couldn't, there was no space to move. So I think generally they're at markets at Christmas, they're in quite a good mood. They're doing their Christmas shopping, they've maybe got a little mulled wine or whatever, like picked up a few treats, and they're in a pretty good mood. But online they can get a bit feral. And I get too scared of that, so I tend to close for Christmas quite early to avoid all the like, where's my parcel? Out of fear, really. But working retail, I found it easy to do because it wasn't aimed at me specifically, but we got so many, and we're like a lovely little independent gift shop, but we used to sell like lots of like locally made like flavoured alcoholic liqueurs and stuff. And I remember getting a message on Christmas Day from a customer being like, "You've sent the wrong mint liqueur, you've ruined my Christmas."
Oh God.
Really? Is that the worst of your problems? Like, you're doing okay.
Retail.
Because it wasn't aimed at me.
Yeah. Retail, day job, different fucking story. Oh my days. My last job that I had before my current one was just a little clothes shop. And if I was to describe this clothes shop, I'm not going to name it, but if I had to describe it, it would be Mother of the Bride.
Okay.
That kind of shop. Do you know what I mean? But Boxing Day sales, fuck me, never again. Never again. Never.
See, I worked in like bars and restaurants and things before doing my business. So again, that's like completely different ball game because everyone's pissed. Like I've had customers like scream at me and like pour drinks over me and all that kind of stuff. So I do think compared to that, small biz customers are quite chill.
Yeah, in terms of small business, not really any sort of rude customers, especially not at markets. Like you say, we've all had the "where's my order" online, all of us. I think if you've been doing this for any amount of time, especially over Christmas, you've had that. It's on everybody's fucking small business bingo cards, isn't it?
So the next question, Rachel from Pens and Needles has asked, what are our thoughts on Black Friday?
If we're talking in terms of whether to run a sale, I think I struggle with this every year because you see like, was it Holly Tucker that started like the Colour Friday thing?
Yes,
to try and encourage people to shop. So part of me feels like I should not do a Black Friday sale out of kind of like solidarity and you know, to kind of encourage people to just shop small kind of every day of the year. But at the same time, you know, you are running a business, you've got to, we're never going to compete with Amazon and that, but you've got to kind of try and offer people a bit to kind of incentivize them to spend at this time of year sometimes. And people do maybe expect Black Friday offers. So I think I change my kind of mind every year, but this year I've decided to do like a bit more of an exclusive offer. So I've just kind of said that for anyone subscribed to my newsletter, because that's my big thing at the minute, is trying to get more people on my newsletter, because it's a bit of a catch-22. I've only got a really small list of subscribers, so I don't bother sending anything out. So that's my kind of focus at the minute. So I've kind of said like anyone that's on my subscriber list, they'll get the sale or discount will be exclusive to them. So I've kind of started trying to advertise that now to kind of get more sign-ups. I think I've only had one so far, but you know.
No, that's a good idea though. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so that hopefully the people that are loyal and do shop all the time anyway will feel like a bit rewarded and a bit incentivized to place an extra order. But I'm not just kind of throwing discounts out to every man and his dog kind of thing.
I think that's a really good way to do it.
I do,
You're getting something out of it rather than just giving away cheap stuff for the sake of it. Yeah, no, that's a really clever idea.
I like the way your brain works. If we ever do a marketing episode, you can come back.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really good, actually. It's so easy to compare yourself to
big chain companies
at Christmas specifically. And we get a bit drowned out by them. We're drowned out by them anyway because they're so big. That's the whole point, you know, big versus small, you know what I mean? Big is always going to overshadow. But we are drowned out. We compete with so much. We're so used to having it rammed down our throats that I think we get a little bit swept up into thinking like the big corporations, whereas we shouldn't. We should be doing the Colour Friday of, no, this is about paying a little bit more maybe, yes, but supporting those independents, knowing that it's going back into the hands of local artists, of small businesses, of makers, of normal people.
Who are just
support
trying to get
them
by.
in their families.
No,
who
I
were
do
just
agree.
trying to get by.
Yeah, I think that it's important, obviously, to push that narrative. But like you said, it is hard when you're competing with big companies. But personally, I don't do Black Friday sales because I think, like, when we shop in Black Friday sales, it's things that you really would have to save up for. Like, people use it to buy like a new telly or, you know, that kind of stuff. And I think, do I fall into that category? I don't know. I think it depends what your business is. I think if you're selling like really high end, like higher priced things, then maybe, yeah, you do fall into that category of things that people would save for and use a Black Friday sale for. But I don't think I necessarily am in that category. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, putting myself in the shopper's shoes, really. I know that, for example, at Christmas, I might order a few things off Amazon for people, but I do try and shop small business where I can. Now, if I'm looking at a big priced item on Amazon, I'm far more likely to go, oh, wait until Black Friday, see if there's any money, or wait till a Prime Day or something like that, which we all do. If I'm looking at something that a small business sells, I'm very unlikely to go, oh, wait till Black Friday and see if there's any money. Because I don't even think that thought crossed my brain.
Yeah, I don't think Black Friday and things like that are expected of small businesses. I don't feel there's a pressure from that sense. I don't feel like, oh, everyone else is doing it, so I have to. I feel like...
wonder if they'll become more expected now that places like Etsy are pushing us into it.
Yeah.
Because Etsy are always very keen. They do the whole sort of Cyber Monday thing as well. They're always very keen. And it's never good enough either. You put like a 20% sale off and it's like, do a sale of at least 30% to attract more customers. And they want free delivery.
Fuck off, Etsy.
Yeah. It's like, we're already cutting our prices. You're already taking like however many percent in fees.
Yeah. Let's take the sale off your bit.
Yeah.
It's easy to get so swept up in that though, isn't it? And I don't judge any small business. I know that on Black Friday there'll be an awful lot of businesses on my FYP that I follow that are doing Black Friday. I fully expect that. I don't judge them for
there's
it.
no judgment here. But I think you've got to do whatever's best for you and whatever's
we always
best for
say
your
this
business.
about sales as well, don't we? As long as you're doing it for your reasons. So like I say, if you're putting on a sale just because you feel a bit pestered by Etsy to do so, but then there's a high chance that when you get your money through from Etsy at the end of the month, you could be disappointed because not only are you getting the fees, but you've taken the sales discounts off as well. So be very prepared for that. Be aware of the risks. Weigh up those risks. Is it going to be worth it to you? And also, if you're a small business and you're doing a Black Friday sale or a Cyber Monday sale, just remember you still ain't competing with Amazon.
No, you're not.
You're not. Even if you do that, you can try. But on Black Friday, there is sadly still going to be more people shopping on Amazon than there is shopping small business. It's sad, but it's the way it is. We're not in comparison particularly, but for some reason at Christmas, it always feels like we are.
It does, Merry Christmas.
I know, that was fucking chirpy. You're never going to compete with Amazon. Bye.
Don't fucking try.
Sorry, guys.
Right. So that is all for this week. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of insight into what goes on in our brains, how we cope with things, how we don't cope with things. And a huge thank you to Amy for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed this episode, if you found anything relatable, if you've got any comments at all, then our Instagram is @reallyfuckingtrying. Please do get in touch with us. We do love to hear from our listeners.
Yes, we do. If you've got any questions to ask, if you want to apply to be a guest, check out the links in our bio. We've also got a Ko-fi link if you want to support the podcast. You can buy us a coffee or grab some of our merch. And what's the next episode, Ellie?
So in the next episode, we are going full Christmas mode. So you have been warned. We've got absolutely loads to cover about Christmas. Not all that much time to do it in either, which is fucking story of our lives. But this time, more specifically, we are going to be talking about products and promotion at Christmas, and we're joined by another amazing guest as well. But in the meantime, keep an eye on our Instagram, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.